So, a guy named Jack Simons stood on a stage at the Oxford Union and gave a speech. He talked about how depression rates are higher among people who scroll social media all day. He talked about how eating disorders are fueled by the perfect bodies we see on Instagram. And he talked about fake news spreading faster than the truth. And honestly, some of his points were valid. Social media is not perfect, but I disagree with his main conclusion. So Jack's main argument was social media corrupts human interaction. So today I want to make a different argument. Social media doesn't corrupt human interactions, but it amplifies it. So let's start with Jack's strongest piece of evidence. He brought up a study from the University of Pittsburgh. People who check social media more often are 2.7 times more likely to be depressed. Those numbers sound serious, right? But here's what Jack didn't tell you. That number 2 times is a correlation, not a cause. Think about it this way. If I told you that people who drink more coffee are more likely to have trouble sleeping, would you say coffee causes insomnia? Or would you say maybe people who are already tired drink coffee to stay awake? Same thing here. Does social media make people depressed? Or do people who are already feeling lonely and anxious turn to social media because they're looking for comfort or someone to talk to? So the researchers of that study themselves say the reverse is a real possibility, and here's where it gets interesting. In 2019, a team from MIT and Facebook actually ran an experiment. They paid people to deactivate their Facebook account for the entire month, 4 weeks, no scrolling, no liking, and what happened? Their well-being barely changed. They just knew less about what was going on in the world. Dr. Amy Orban from Cambridge University also found that social media's effect on mental health is actually very small compared to sleep, exercise, and supportive relationships. So the relationship between social media and depression is much more complicated than simply saying social media causes depression. Now, can algorithms spread harmful content? Absolutely. But they can also spread support and positive movements. Let me give you an example. Jamila Jamil started a movement on Instagram called I Wake. It's a space where people post their real bodies, stretch marks, all of it. No filters, no bullshit. That movement has helped real people with real eating disorders feel seen. Even fashion brands like ASOS stopped heavily editing their models because of pressure from online communities. So, there are also communities on Reddit with hundreds of thousands of members dedicated to eating disorder recovery. Someone posts, I ate breakfast today for the first time in a week, and gets 1,000 comments saying, I'm so proud of you. This is happening on the same platform where pro-ana content exists. If you follow body positivity account, you will get more body positivity account. So, content. The solution isn't to blame the platform, it's to teach the digital literacy. And Jack's third argument was that online connections are replacing real-world relationships, but the data says the exact opposite. Pew Research Center found that 67% of teenagers say social media makes them feel more connected to their friends. Let me tell you about Liam Hackett. Jack introduced him as the founder of Digital Label. He was being bullied at school when he was 15, but he found community on MySpace and found support there. And today, Digital Label is a charity that uses social media to reach young people experiencing cyberbullying. They have helped over 1.5 million young people across the world. Social media has also organized real-world movements like the Women's March and the All's Ice Bucket Challenge, which raised $115 million for research, all because people filmed themselves dumping ice water on their heads and tagged their friends. So yeah, online friends are real. And last, this brings me to my final point, and honestly, this is the important one. A hammer can build a house, right? Or it can break a window. The problem isn't the hammer. It's whose hand it's in and how they choose to use it. Social media is exactly the same. It's a tool. Jack talked about fake news and political manipulations. He has right to be worried. But they are problems of how we use the platform, not the problems created by the platform existing. Think about it this way. If someone writes propaganda, In a book, do we say books corrupt human interactions? No, we say that person wrote something harmful. So, if someone uses a telephone to scam people, do we say telephone corrupts human interactions? No, we say that person is a scammer. So why when bad things happen on social media, do we blame the platform instead of the people using it? Misunderstanding, envy, exclusion, bullying, gossip, manipulations, all of those things existed long before the internet. If we deleted every social media app tomorrow, every single one, would corruption in human interaction disappear? No, it just wouldn't be documented anymore. People would still gossip, they would still compare themselves to unrealistic standards. They just see those standards on magazine instead of TikTok. So at the end of the day, social media is a tool. Like any tool, it can be used positively or negatively. Instead of blaming the platform for everything, we should focus on teaching people how to use social media responsibly, critically, and positively. So thank you.